Right now, the leadership of the MTA has chosen to take a course that exposes New York City transit riders to a high level of danger, and that is by the closure of the booths and the removal of our station staff to form a vital layer of security work in the New York City subway. The Department of Homeland Security and every other law enforcement agency in the country that has any kind of oversight in the New York City subways recognizes our station agents and the booths as a vital, never to tinker with layer of security that gives protection to New York City transit riders above and beyond what the NYPD is capable of doing. So today we're here to speak specifically about how the MTA can move and act in order to restore the level of security that New York City transit riders need and deserve. And the irony of all of this is that right now, while Jay Walder is moving to shut the booths down and expose people to harm's way, he's sitting on $275 million of federal stimulus money from 2009 that could be immediately applied to stop this situation. Okay, and the great irony of this again, another great irony of this, is that we're dealing with a guy that's making $350,000 a year. He's got a $5,000 a month housing allowance from taxpayers of the city of New York, from all of us, and who's completely out of touch with what it's like to be an everyday average transit rider trying to get back and forth to work or trying to get your children back and forth to school. He's completely out of touch. Jay Walder's not concerned about security in the subway, because every time he goes into the subway, he's with two burly bodyguards, two burly plainclothes New York State troopers. So what does he care if the riders are exposed to harm's way? He's certainly not exposed to harm's way. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the Manhattan Borough President, Scott Stringer, who's going to say some words on behalf of New York City transit riders.
John's a tough act to follow because he recognizes what's at stake in the next few weeks if we don't get these cuts restored. I want to talk a little bit about security to try to shake up the MTA and tell them just how serious this action is. First of all, what were they thinking when in the midst of a terrorist attack that almost happened right here in the heart of Midtown, would you then take away the very people who act as our eyes and ears when something could happen? It makes no sense. And it sends the wrong message to the terrorists out there, to the tourists, and the people who work and live in this borough. To tinker with 49 stations, reduce services, and take away the first line of defense, the people who see what's going on, who sees packages that may be left unattended, who see suspicious people. The subway clerks, the people underground, are the people who are going to save us if something bad should happen. So the MTA and the city is very proud of the campaign. If you say something, say something. Well, who are you going to say it to? Who are you going to talk to if the people below ground no longer exist because of senseless cuts? Now, I do not understand the bureaucrats at the MTA. First, they go after the kids in the Metro cars. Second, they go after the elderly and accessorized. But now, they're going after our whole population by putting us in harm's way in the midst of a very difficult time when terrorism and security is on the forefront of everybody's mind. After this press conference, take a look at what's happening right here where they want to reduce service. Take a look at all the millions of people who intersect here. Why you would reduce services in this borough at a time when we need our tourists and we need to feel safe, I have no idea. There's a solution here. There's a solution. It's a bill in Albany. Assemblymember Keith Ryan has introduced legislation that has said, let's study whether in fact our security concerns make a lot of sense. Let's engage in a real process where experts can tell us whether closing these booths will have an impact on security.